As winter approaches, bringing with it the possibility of snow, ice, and powerful storms, being prepared is more than just a good idea, it's a necessity. For seniors aged 55 and over, winter weather can present unique challenges. From power outages that disrupt medical equipment to icy conditions that increase the risk of falls. A little planning can make all the difference, ensuring you stay safe, warm, and comfortable, no matter what the weather brings. Your well-being is our top priority, and we want to help you face the season with confidence. To help you get ready, we've compiled a comprehensive guide based on the latest advice from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. This list details the 14 winter survival items FEMA recommends for 55+ seniors in 2025, providing up-to-date and reliable information. Think of it as your personal checklist for peace of mind. By gathering these essential items now, you can rest easy knowing you are prepared for any winter emergency. Let's walk through what you need to create your winter survival kit and ensure a secure season ahead. Stockpile non-perishable food. When a winter storm hits, the power can go out and roads can become impassable. This is not the time to realize your pantry is empty. An emergency food supply isn't a suggestion, it's a fundamental requirement for survival. For seniors, this preparation must be even more deliberate. You need a stockpile of non-perishable food that will last for a minimum of 3 days, though aiming for a week or more is a smarter goal. This means food that requires no refrigeration, minimal preparation, and little to no cooking. Think canned goods, dried fruits, protein bars, and cereals. The assumption that you will be able to cook a normal meal is a dangerous one. Stoves, especially electric ones, will be useless in a power outage. A simple can opener and utensils might be the only tools you have. The type of food you store is critical. It must be suited to your specific dietary needs. Many standard emergency rations are packed with sodium, which can be detrimental for individuals managing blood pressure or other health conditions. You must actively seek out low-sodium options. Read the labels on canned soups, vegetables, and meats. Choose items packed in water instead of brine. Beyond sodium content, consider the physical effort required to access the food. Packaging can be a significant barrier. Prioritize pop-top cans, single-serving pouches that tear open easily, and twist-off jars. Practice opening one of each type of container before you store it away. If you struggle, that item is not suitable for your kit. Your emergency supply should reduce stress, not create a new struggle. Your well-being depends on having accessible, safe, and appropriate nutrition when you are at your most vulnerable. Do not leave this to chance. 2. Secure a potable water source. Water is more critical than food. A person can survive for weeks without eating, but only a few days without water. During a winter emergency, your tap may run dry due to frozen pipes or municipal system failures. You cannot assume clean water will be available. The absolute baseline for preparedness is storing bottled water. The standard recommendation is 1 gallon of water per person per day. A 3-day supply is the minimum, so a single person needs at least 3 gallons stored away. For 2 people, that's 6 gallons. Store this water in a cool, dark place to prevent the plastic from degrading and affecting the taste. Do not store it in a garage or shed where it could freeze solid, making it useless when you need it most. Check the expiration dates on bottled water as the plastic can break down over time. Rotate your supply annually to ensure it remains fresh and safe. Bottled water is heavy and takes up space, so it should be supplemented with a secondary plan for water purification. This is not an optional extra, it is a vital backup. If your stored water runs out, you may need to source it from melted snow or other available, but potentially contaminated sources. Never drink this water without treating it first. The simplest method is to use water purification tablets. These are small, lightweight, and have a long shelf life. They use chemicals like iodine or chlorine to kill bacteria and viruses. Follow the instructions precisely, as they require a specific waiting time to be effective. A more advanced option is a portable water filter. These devices physically strain out pathogens and are highly effective. Many are designed as straws or simple pump systems, requiring minimal effort to use. Having both tablets and a filter provides redundancy. One system might fail or be used up, so having another is just common sense. Your ability to stay hydrated is non-negotiable. 3. Arrange for backup heat. Losing heat during a winter storm is not just an inconvenience, it is a life-threatening situation, especially for older adults who are more susceptible to hypothermia. You cannot rely solely on your home's central heating system. You must have a backup plan. This starts with non-electric options. The most effective defense is a collection of high-quality blankets and thermal sleeping bags. Wool and fleece blankets are superior at trapping body heat. A thermal sleeping bag rated for cold temperatures can be a literal lifesaver if you need to sleep in a cold house. Layering clothing is also crucial. Wear multiple layers, starting with a moisture-wicking base layer and adding insulating layers on top. Do not forget a hat, gloves, and warm socks, as a significant amount of body heat is lost through your extremities and head. Confine yourself to a single, smaller room and block drafts from doors and windows with towels or blankets to conserve heat. If you choose to use an indoor heater, your choice must be dictated by safety. Never use a generator, charcoal grill, or camp stove indoors. They produce carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless gas that can be fatal in minutes. If you are going to use a portable heater, it must be specifically designed and rated for indoor use. Electric space heaters are an option if you have a generator, but they must have an automatic shutoff feature that activates if the unit tips over or overheats. This is not a feature to compromise on. Propane or kerosene heaters rated for indoor use can also work, but they demand extreme caution. Ensure you have proper ventilation by cracking a window and never leave them running while you sleep. A battery-operated carbon monoxide detector is not optional. It is a mandatory piece of equipment if you use any type of fuel-burning heater. Your goal is to stay warm, but doing so recklessly can lead to a far worse outcome than the cold itself. 4. Secure essential medications and medical gear. A winter storm doesn't care about your prescription schedule. Forgetting to manage your medications and medical supplies during an emergency is a critical and potentially fatal mistake. Waiting until a storm is imminent to check your pill bottles is irresponsible. You must maintain a minimum of a 30-day supply of all prescription medications at all times. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about getting an extra month's supply for emergency preparedness. Some insurance plans have restrictions, but exceptions can often be made if you explain the reason. Do not take no for an answer. Be persistent. This stockpile is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. Store these medications in a single, easily accessible location, like a waterproof bag, so you can grab them quickly if you need to evacuate. Include a written list of all medications, dosages, and prescribing doctor information. In a chaotic situation, you cannot rely on memory. This preparation extends beyond just pills. Any medical equipment you rely on daily becomes part of your survival kit. If you have diabetes, you need your glucose meter, test strips, and a supply of Lancets. If you manage hypertension, your blood pressure monitor and a logbook are non-negotiable. What is your plan if your electronic devices lose power? Your blood pressure cuff or glucose meter won't work without batteries. Stockpile extra batteries for every single medical device you own. Consider manual alternatives, such as an aneroid sphygmomanometer, a manual blood pressure cuff, which requires no electricity. Also include any over-the-counter items you regularly use, such as pain relievers, antacids, or allergy medication. A winter emergency is not the time to suffer through a headache or heartburn. Failing to prepare your medical supplies is a direct failure to protect your own health. It is an avoidable error that can have the most severe consequences. 5. Guarantee a reliable light source. When the power grid fails, darkness is immediate. Fumbling around in a pitch-black house is a direct path to injury. A fall in a cold, dark home can be catastrophic, and help may not be able to reach you. Your reliance on household lights is a vulnerability that must be addressed with a simple and effective tool: a flashlight. Candles are a fire hazard and should not be considered a primary light source. You need multiple, reliable flashlights staged in key areas of your home: the bedroom, the kitchen, the bathroom, and with your emergency kit. Do not bury them in a junk drawer. Place them where you can find them without thinking. The type of flashlight matters. Choose modern LED flashlights, as they are significantly brighter, more energy efficient, and last longer than older incandescent models. The design of the flashlight is also a critical factor for seniors. A heavy, bulky mag light is impractical. You need something lightweight and easy to handle, with a simple push-button operation. Look for models with textured grips that are less likely to slip from your hands. For every single flashlight, you must have multiple sets of fresh, corresponding batteries. Check the batteries every 6 months and replace them annually, regardless of use. An even better strategy is to invest in flashlights that don't rely on disposable batteries. A hand-crank flashlight requires physical effort but will work every time you need it. Solar rechargeable models are also excellent, provided you have a way to expose them to sunlight. Headlamps are another superior option, as they leave both of your hands free to carry supplies, brace for stability, or perform other necessary tasks. Being without light in an emergency is an amateur mistake. It complicates every task and dramatically increases your risk. Secure your light sources now. 6. Assemble proper cold weather clothing. Your everyday winter coat is not sufficient for a prolonged power outage in freezing temperatures. Surviving in a cold house requires a specific strategy for dressing, and it begins with the principle of layering. The body's ability to regulate its temperature decreases with age, making older adults far more vulnerable to hypothermia. You must have a dedicated supply of warm clothing designed to be worn in layers to trap body heat effectively. This isn't about fashion, it's about thermal dynamics. One thick, bulky sweater is less effective than 3 thinner, well-chosen layers. Your preparedness is incomplete without the right gear, stored and ready before the first snowflake falls. Do not assume the clothes in your closet will be enough. The layering system starts with a base layer. This is the layer against your skin. Its job is to wick moisture away. Cotton is a poor choice because it absorbs sweat and stays wet, chilling you to the bone. You need thermal underwear made from wool or synthetic fabrics like polypropylene. The second layer is the mid-layer, which provides insulation. This should be a fleece jacket, a wool sweater, or a down vest. Its purpose is to trap the air your body has warmed. The final layer is the outer layer, which in an indoor situation should be a comfortable but warm jacket or even a windbreaker, to block drafts. Just as important are your extremities. A significant amount of heat is lost through your head, hands, and feet. You need insulated thermal socks, not cotton ones. You need warm insulated gloves or mittens. And you absolutely must have a warm hat or beanie. Having these items packed in your emergency kit means you are not scrambling to find them in the dark. Dressing inadequately for the cold is a direct invitation to a medical emergency. 7. Assemble a senior-specific first aid kit. A basic first aid kit with a few adhesive bandages and some gauze is wholly inadequate for a serious winter emergency. Minor injuries can become major problems when you are isolated and emergency services are delayed. A fall, a cut from opening a can, or a simple burn can become infected or lead to complications. For seniors, these risks are amplified. Your first aid kit must be comprehensive and specifically tailored to your potential needs. This means going far beyond the cheap, pre-packaged kits sold at drugstores. You need to build a kit or substantially augment an existing one. It must be overstocked with bandages of all sizes, sterile gauze pads, medical tape, and antiseptic wipes. A simple cut can be much more serious for an older adult, especially one with diabetes or circulation issues. So having ample supplies to keep a wound clean and covered is not optional. Your kit must also be heavily supplied with common over-the-counter medications. Pain relievers, such as acetaminophen or ibuprofen, are essential. A winter storm brings stress, and with it, tension headaches and other pains. You should also include allergy medications, antacids, and anti-diarrhea medicine. An emergency is not the time to be dealing with an avoidable physical discomfort. Beyond these basics, consider items specific to senior health. Include elastic bandages for sprains or strains, instant cold packs for swelling, and burn cream. If you are prone to skin tears, have wound closure strips and non-stick dressings on hand. A pair of tweezers for splinter removal and scissors for cutting tape or gauze are mandatory. Inspect this kit every 6 months. Replace any items that have been used or have expired. This kit is not a box to be checked. It is a critical tool for managing your health when professional medical help is out of reach. Assuming you will not need it is a dangerous gamble. 8. Maintain a lifeline to the outside world. When a storm severs your connection to the outside world, isolation becomes your enemy. Your landline may be dead, and the power outage will eventually drain your cell phone battery. You cannot afford to be cut off from emergency broadcasts and information. A simple battery-powered radio is an absolute necessity. It is your one-way link to authorities and will provide critical updates on weather conditions, road closures, and shelter location. A hand-crank radio is an even more robust solution, as it eliminates the reliance on batteries, which can fail or be forgotten. Make sure you get a NOAA weather radio, which is specifically designed to receive emergency alerts directly from the National Weather Service. Having this device means you are receiving information, not sitting in the dark wondering what is happening. This knowledge is crucial for making informed decisions about your safety. Your cell phone is your two-way communication lifeline, but it's useless with a dead battery. Assuming you will be able to charge it from a wall outlet is a flawed plan. You must have a reliable backup charging method. The most common and effective option is a portable power bank. A fully charged power bank can recharge a smartphone multiple times. Buy one with a high capacity and keep it charged at all times. Do not let it sit in a drawer with a depleted battery. It must be ready to go when you need it. Check its charge level weekly and top it off. A solar charger is another excellent backup, especially for a prolonged outage. While it is slower and dependent on sunlight, it provides a limitless source of energy. Parts using these devices before an emergency strikes. Understand how to connect them to your phone and how they operate. Losing communication capability in a crisis escalates your risk profile from serious to critical. Do not let a dead battery be the reason you cannot call for help. 9. Establish an independent power source. Relying on the electrical grid is a vulnerability you cannot afford during a severe winter event. A power outage that lasts for days is a realistic scenario, and it will render every appliance you depend on useless. You must have a plan for generating your own power. For many, this means a portable generator. A generator can power essential items like a refrigerator to preserve food and medication, a space heater, or medical equipment. However, a generator is a powerful and potentially dangerous piece of machinery that demands respect and knowledge. It must never, under any circumstances, be operated inside your home, garage, or any enclosed space. The exhaust contains carbon monoxide, an invisible, odorless gas that can kill you in minutes. It must be placed outdoors, at least 20 feet away from doors and windows, with the exhaust pointing away from the house. If a gasoline generator seems too complex or dangerous, there are other options. Portable power stations, which are essentially large, rechargeable batteries, are a safer and simpler alternative. They can be charged from a wall outlet before a storm and can power smaller devices like phones, radios, and even some small medical devices for hours or days. These can be safely used indoors as they produce no emissions. They can also be paired with portable solar panels, creating a small, self-sustaining power system. These solar chargers are becoming increasingly efficient and can provide a steady trickle of power to keep your essential electronics running during a multi-day outage. Whatever system you choose, you must know how to use it safely. Read the manuals, practice setting it up, have the necessary fuel safely stored or the power station fully charged. Waiting until the lights go out to figure out your power situation is a plan for failure. Your safety depends on having a power source that is independent of the grid. 10. Maintain personal hygiene and sanitation. In a winter emergency, running water may be one of the first luxuries to disappear. This is not just an inconvenience, it is a direct threat to your health. A breakdown in sanitation can lead to the spread of disease, skin infections, and a general decline in well-being that can be psychologically draining. Assuming you will be able to take a shower or even wash your hands properly is a foolish oversight. You must have a dedicated stockpile of hygiene and sanitation supplies to maintain cleanliness when plumbing fails. The foundation of this kit is a large supply of wet wipes. These are your stand-in for showers and will be critical for maintaining personal hygiene. Stock more than you think you will need. Also essential is hand sanitizer, with at least 60% alcohol content. Use it frequently, especially before eating and after using your makeshift toilet facilities, to prevent the spread of germs. For many seniors, specific hygiene needs are non-negotiable. If you use adult incontinence products, you must have an ample supply set aside in your emergency kit. Running out of these essential items during a crisis would be distressing and unsanitary. Plan for at least a week, if not more. You also need to consider waste disposal. Have a supply of trash bags, plastic ties, and a designated lidded container to store garbage. This will help keep your living area clean and reduce the risk of pests and odors. If your toilet is not functional, you will need an alternative. A simple bucket with a tight-fitting lid can serve as a makeshift toilet, lined with heavy-duty garbage bags. Adding a small amount of cat litter can help with odor control. Neglecting hygiene is a fast track to making a bad situation significantly worse. Maintaining your cleanliness is not about comfort, it is a fundamental component of health and survival. directly impacting your morale and your ability to weather the crisis. 11. Secure your essential document. During a severe weather event, you may be forced to evacuate your home with little notice. In the chaos, you cannot afford to waste precious time searching for critical paperwork. All of your most important documents must be gathered, organized, and stored in a single secure and portable location. The best option is a durable, waterproof, and fireproof folder or container that you can grab in a second. This is not a task to put off. It is a foundational step in emergency preparedness. This kit is your identity and your access to recovery resources after the emergency has passed. Without these documents, rebuilding your life will be exponentially harder. Start by gathering original or certified copies of personal identification. This includes your driver's license or state ID card, birth certificate, social security card, and passport. Your document kit must also contain all relevant medical information. This includes copies of your health insurance cards, Medicare, Medicaid cards, a complete list of your prescription medications and dosages, and contact information for all your doctors and specialists. Include copies of important legal documents such as your power of attorney, living will, and property deeds or rental agreements. Financial records are also critical. Have copies of recent bank statements, credit card information, front and back, and insurance policies for your home and vehicles. Finally, compile a comprehensive list of emergency contacts, including family members, friends, and neighbors, with multiple contact numbers for each. Once assembled, make digital copies of everything. Scan the documents and save them to a password-protected USB flash drive, which you should keep in the kit, and also upload them to a secure cloud storage service. Your physical documents could be lost or destroyed. Having a digital backup is an essential layer of redundancy. This grab-and-go document kit is your administrative lifeline. 12. Verify your fire and gas safety equipment. Winter emergencies dramatically increase the risk of a house fire. The use of backup heating sources, candles, and generators creates multiple opportunities for an accident. At the same time, a storm can delay or prevent firefighters from reaching you. Your first line of defense is not the fire department, it's the safety equipment inside your home. It is your personal responsibility to ensure this equipment is present, functional, and ready. This starts with smoke detectors. You must have working smoke detectors on every level of your home, inside each bedroom and outside sleeping areas. Test them monthly by pressing the test button. The batteries must be replaced at least once a year, without fail. A common recommendation is to change them when you change your clocks for daylight saving time. A smoke detector with a dead battery is just a piece of plastic on the ceiling. It will not save you. Equally critical is a carbon monoxide (CO) detector. Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas produced by burning fuel, and it is a silent killer. If you plan to use a generator, portable propane heater, or any fuel-burning appliance, a CO detector is not optional. It is mandatory for survival. Like smoke detectors, they need to be tested monthly and have their batteries replaced annually. Also, ensure you have at least one functional all-purpose fire extinguisher in your home. Ideally in the kitchen. You must know how to use it. The PASS acronym is simple. Pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the lever, and sweep from side to side. Check the pressure gauge on the extinguisher monthly to ensure it is in the green operational range. A fire can double in size every minute. You may only have seconds to react. Relying on chance is not a strategy. Verifying that your fire and gas safety equipment is in perfect working order is one of the most important things you can do to protect your life. 13. Secure your mobility and accessibility tools. A power outage or impassable roads can instantly make your home an obstacle course. Your ability to navigate your own space safely is paramount, and any device you rely on for mobility or sensory input becomes a critical piece of survival equipment. Forgetting to prepare these items is a direct threat to your independence and safety. If you use a cane or a walker, you must ensure it is in perfect working order and readily accessible, even in the dark. Consider adding reflective or glow-in-the-dark tape to your walker or cane so you can locate it easily without light. If you have a secondary or backup device, make sure it is stored in a place you can get to without difficulty. A fall in an emergency situation, when help cannot easily reach you, can be a catastrophic event. Do not assume you can get by without the tools you depend on every single day. This extends to sensory aids. If you wear eyeglasses, you must have a backup pair. Your primary pair could be lost or broken in a chaotic moment. Keep a spare pair, even an old prescription, with your emergency go bag. Without the ability to see clearly, every task from reading medication labels to avoiding trip hazards becomes infinitely more dangerous. The same logic applies to hearing. If you use hearing aids, you must have a substantial supply of extra batteries. Hearing aids are useless without power. Not being able to hear a smoke alarm, a carbon monoxide detector, a weather alert on the radio, or someone calling for you is a life-threatening vulnerability. Stockpile more batteries than you think you will need, and store them in a dry, easily accessible location. Your ability to move, see, and hear is fundamental to your autonomy. Failing to prepare these essential aids means you are willingly sacrificing your independence and safety at the moment you need them most. 14. Establish a concrete support and contact plan. In a crisis, technology will fail, and you may be left isolated. Assuming you can simply call for help is a dangerous and naive assumption. You must have a pre-established plan for communication and support that does not rely on a functioning power grid or cell network. This starts with creating a physical, written list of all important contacts. This is not a task to be digitized and forgotten on a dead phone. Write it down on paper and laminate it, or place it in a waterproof bag. This list must include names, phone numbers, and addresses for family members, friends, neighbors, doctors, and your pharmacy. Include local, non-emergency numbers for the police and fire departments, as well as your utility companies. Keep one copy of this list in your emergency kit and another in a visible location, like on your refrigerator. Beyond a simple list, you must actively coordinate with the people on it. This is a direct FEMA recommendation for a reason. Your community is your most immediate resource. Talk to your neighbors before an emergency. Establish a plan to check on one another. Designate an out-of-town contact person that everyone in your family can call to report that they are safe. Long-distance phone lines are often more reliable than local ones during a regional disaster. Inform your support network, your family and trusted neighbors about your emergency plans, the location of your kits, and any specific medical needs you have. If you have mobility issues, they must know this. They cannot help you if they are not aware of your situation. Register with your local emergency management office if they maintain a registry for vulnerable residents. This can help first responders locate and assist you. Your survival should not be left to chance. A robust, pre-arranged support plan is not a suggestion. It is a critical system that can mean the difference between being a victim and being a survivor.